Okay, I'll try to do this in a nice, timely fashion. So I'm taking a little bit of some different colors. Mrs. Grinstead, can I have you warm the white up in your hand for me? Thanks. And I'm going to take a third color. So my red has already been warmed up. At this point, I invite you all just to stop and watch so that way you can see. Okay, I promise you, you'll have work time tomorrow. So I have red that's heated or warmed up already, so it's softened. I'm going to do the same thing with my blue. I'm putting my other beads just to the side for right now. I also have some little cups I could have you put those in. And with this, I'm going to make little snakes. So I'm just rolling it out using my fingers to spread the clay. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put that to the side. And I'm going to have my 3 colors, and they're going to be about the same in length. I can always trim them either with the X-Acto knife, with the paper clip, or even with the skewer. So I'll have these 2, and oh, look at that, my awesome assistant. And I have my 3rd. Okay, so once I have my 3 colors, I know the white's a little bit challenging to see. I'll put that in the middle so you can better see. Okay, so I have my red, my white, my blue. So what I'm going to do now, they're all about the same size. I'm going to twist. This is going to kind of start looking like a candy cane. At least that's what it reminds me of. Or like a piece of, a different type of piece of candy that they have out there. So I have my swirl like this. So this is going to be for my tie-dye or my marbled bead, okay? So once it's like this, guys, watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to take it and fold it and squish it together. That doesn't look like a nice tie-dye to me. So I'm going to squish it together, and I'm going to roll it out again with all 3 colors in there. If I kept doing this a lot, the colors would begin to mix all the way. So I'm just twisting. This always reminds me, a couple years ago, I did a workshop on making a glass beads, and we learned how to do something, and they called these canes, like a candy cane. So I have this, and guess what? I'm going to smush it together again, warming it up in my hand. Almost looks like Buffalo Bills, which is what I was going for, but you know what? That still doesn't look that great. I have found when making these tie-dye or marbled beads, by doing this 3 times, you get a very nice blending of your marbled beads, so that way they look well integrated with the colors without losing the colors. So I have my 3rd time. Like, see how much nicer that looks? Almost now reminds me of Zumbas. So once I have that, I'm refolding my clay, and I want to do it enough so that way I like how it looks. So after 3, see how this looks like a marble right now? Yeah, like a little bouncy ball. Yeah, for sure. So now that I have my marbling ready to go, and I'm happy with that, now I can cut from this bigger piece and start making. Notice I didn't use tons of clay. I still have a lot left over. And the good news is that, you know, if this doesn't make 6, because we're doing 6 of these marbled beads too, you can incorporate, like, look how cool that looks on the inside. I just sliced it. So you can see how it's all like together. So you can figure out now, what kind of shape do you want to make with your marbled beads? So same thing, I would start with like amounts of clay. So you have about the same amount of clay for each one. And then you can figure out what you want to do for your shape of them. And then this part really is the same as you worked with your basic beads. So we're just making it a little bit more complex. So I'm going to start with the circles. So I have a little ball, little sphere that are about the same size. Guys, are they a bead yet? No, because what is it missing? Yeah, they need to have a hole in them. So we're going to do the same thing. Think in terms of size. You don't want them to be ginormous. So you're just going to do the same thing. by wiggling in your paper clip, making sure that hole is a little bit bigger than the paper clip, like so. And then you're going to be using your skewer a lot. Okay, so then you're going to do the same thing. Notice I am twisting the skewer. If these are too thin, they're not going to work, and they could potentially break. So you want to make sure your hole is centered. Okay, your hole is centered and it's big enough. And ultimately, at the end, well, I'll talk to you about how you're going to turn them in so I can actually take them home to bake. But this is what my bead looks like, and I'm really happy with that. So you're going to have a total of 6 of your single colored beads that are done in pairs. So, okay, so here's my first set of 2. I'll be making my others. Then you're going to have a total of 6 of these marbled beads, which are going to be cool. So just take a quick peek here. Like, see how if I set them side by side, I have the red incorporated into there. I'm going to do some other fun ones as well with the colors, so that way these could make some really cool pieces that really work well together. And there we have it. Okay, so again, these are super fragile. I have little containers, those paint containers, the big ones. I'm going to give to you to start putting some of your beads in for the temporary until I start collecting them. And then we'll take it from there. Okay, so don't forget, you're going to want to wash your hands. You're going to be careful with these. With your colors that you have, you can actually even tape them. Use a little piece of masking tape on there to enclose them. And then you'll get like a nice little goodie bag, okay? Yeah. You're going to take your colors once they're sealed. You can put them in a Ziploc bag. As usual, you want to make sure that you have your name on there. So that way, you know, if anything gets left behind, I can find you and your pieces can also find you, okay? So make sure everything is sealed. You don't want to do things like put things away too quickly, because you really want to ensure that everything is totally sealed, and really truly that white in this case will totally blend with the rest of the colors. And for right now, until I do marbling, I want to keep everything nice and clean. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to stop recording for a moment.